Well, hello and welcome to my channel. Hello, I thought I was working on the podcast. Well, I am also working on a podcast, Harrison. I'm doing multitasking at the moment. How are you? So, I'm going to go on a little bit of a rant at the moment because I'm not very happy. So, oops. Disappointing. So, there was lots of criticism for the broadcast of the Channel 9 Olympics, and it was less than exciting. And I really thought, I thought the whole thing was a little bit bizarre anyway, but I thought I'd do a little bit of a rant about it because, oh no, you think you got influenza? Oh no. So, did you see any of this opening ceremony plan to create? Because I'm wondering what everybody else thought about it. Other than the fact that I watched parts of it and I was pretty uh, underwhelmed by it. When you have breakfast hosts trying to talk about a live main event, in my opinion, you are just asking for trouble because a live event has many moving parts, and auto cue is not going to help you. When you do breakfast TV, you're relying on auto cue. I just saw bits on the news, but saw all the criticism online. There were times where there was just total silence, and you had no idea what was happening. And I know that this is the first year Channel 9 has got it. I know they're the new broadcast hosts, but I was always under the impression that the people that were doing the opening ceremony got a big brief as to what was happening so that they could explain what was going on. That was my understanding. But that didn't happen. And there was a moment after they got the torch and they went on the boat, and then Maresmo got the torch, and it was passed on to all these people. We weren't told who they were, had no idea who they were, but we were told that there was a guy that was over 100 who was born the last time Paris had the Olympic Games, and he was a cyclist. But there was no information about him as to all of that. But there were just moments where there was deadpan silence, and then when they got to the bit about then there was the speeches in French, but there was no translation on it. I cannot remember never knowing what was happening with an Olympic before. What was hello, Anna? So I'm wondering if those of you are from overseas, what your thoughts were on it, and Australians, what did you think of it? Are you like me and was totally underwhelmed by the coverage? As I said, doing live events and talking about what's happening in front of you is a skill. That's why sports commentators do what they do. That's something that they practice. It's not something that you can just click your fingers and do it. Now, the other thing that's really got particularly, I just put in Twitter and I saw that Tubby Taylor, the phrase Tubby Taylor was trending because Mark Taylor, who is an Australian cricket captain, who's contracted to Channel 9, is doing the diving. So it says, Tubby Taylor calling the diving and Matthew Pavlich calling the equestrian. Ha 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 ha. Tubby Taylor commenting the diving, totally normal. Case in point, Mark Tubby Taylor, cricketer, commenting on the women's diving. Let me get this right. Mark Tubby Taylor is commenting on the diving. Any mention of air conditioners? Mark Taylor is he does ads for ads for Fujitsu. Hello, Bo. Tell me, how was the opening ceremony for you? Did you have good commentary, or was it just Australia that had very poor commentary? Because it's been criticized online, and let me just show you. This is 9 is the host broadcaster, and it's funny because their headline says chaos, electricity, and finally relief. Paris recap, but all the other outlets cringe. Aussie Slam, Channel 9's coverage, cringe. And then we found out that Queen Mary of Denmark came into the Australian team stuff. And then there was other stuff that Tom Cruise apparently was there, and Australians voiced anger over the opening ceremony. So it was, and then it was their decision to go. What did you think of the Paris opening of the Olympics? I have to admit, Rhodesia, that I only saw parts of it because it's in the middle of the night here. So I woke up to see Australia on the boat, and then I woke up to see the torch, and I woke up to see the speeches, and that's my experience. But I have, like many others, really was not impressed by the coverage of it. So Australians haven't taken long to slam the Channel 9 coverage. We woke in the middle of the night. And the other thing that didn't happen, because Australia's the host nation of 2032, we were the third last out. And they never told us that we were going to be the third last country out. And it says, many accused him of talking over. Channel 9 spending 120 million for Olympic rights, and having redneck Carl Stefanovic and uncultured Ellie Langdon providing commentary. Fools. So the coverage got absolutely slammed. Absolutely slammed. Please tell us that imbecile, Channel 9, please tell that imbecile Carl Stefanovic to shut the hell up during performances. Had planned to watch Channel 9's Olympic coverage, but if this is the example of the quality of coverage, I'll be switching right off. Viewers didn't appreciate being constantly reminded of the rain. Can someone shut up Carl Stefanovic? It's raining. We get it. You're pathetic. You're a pathetic broadcaster, Channel 9. Carl Stefanovic, STFU about the weather. We get it. It's raining. Some viewers about not being able to tune in at all. So all Channel 9 stations have conveniently vanished from my TV and refuse to scan either automatically or manually just in time. Guess I'll be finding another way to watch useless Channel 9. And for those who question the lack of subtitles for the long speeches, does Channel 9 have subtitles? I can read what he's saying. What is wrong with the coverage of the opening ceremony in Paris? Out of focus. It looks like a 1970s coverage. So why the hell is Matthew Pavlich doing at the Olympics? Great to see Channel 9 using experts on coverage. Now, I run, and it says, as cherished member of the Leukemia Foundation family, we extend our heartfelt wishes to the legendary Bruce McAvaney as he commemorates on the ABC for the Paris Olympics. Channel 9 attracted plenty of criticism from the national broadcaster, the Australian Broadcasting Corporation, received praise, especially for bringing beloved presenter Bruce McAvaney out of retirement. So they have slammed Australia's coverage, and rightly so in many ways, because I found it to be less than impressive. Now, what I will say, it doesn't matter if you're a sports commentator. It doesn't matter what sport you do. You should be able to be smart enough because you have an expert there to let the expert do their job. If you let the expert do their job, everything will work out fine. If you think that you know more than your expert, that's where the problem comes. But I'm really interested to see what everybody else thinks about it. What everybody else thought about it, because I'm I'm happy to have all the. I'm happy to complain, have my whinge. So, what was the coverage like in your part of the world? What were your commentators like? And it's interesting because I was watching the feed from from the Nine, Now app, which is our streaming app, and they're taking the world feed for swimming. So it's an American commentator with an Australian commentator, which was really interesting. And for those Australians, it's Nicole Livingstone, and she's just nice and calm. She's a great commentator. So, I mean, a lot of people complained about the opening ceremony representing. I mean, if I looked at trending, Sodom and Gomorrah is trending on my Twitter, because a lot of people thought it looked like Sodom and Gomorrah. I mean, American have no clue, haven't watched it yet. So, have you had news about? Have you had news about what's happened in it? Because there is something about the last. What they say, it's a replication of the Last Supper with drag queens in it, and apparently it's supposed to be a great god or something, some type of god, but it looks like a blue Smurf. If I was at all honest with you, it looks like a blue Smurf that got lost. I fortunately didn't watch any of that. Didn't see any of it. Used to watch every minute of Olympics with video. Couldn't see it load. Then one station got contract for like 50 years to cover a few minutes of this. Then off to that. Okay, so we the Channel 7 always had it, and they did it well. And so it went to Channel 9, she was different broadcaster. But you can watch it on the TV through their digital station. But if you go onto their app, the 9 Now app, you can actually watch all the sports. So they actually take the feed from all the disciplines. And so, as I said, you can watch, if it's there, you can watch it. Oh yeah, this is the picture. This is the picture that Biden dropping out the person is headlining. It's the same political stuff. Really? So they haven't talked about that at all. Okay. Oh. So this is what I'm talking about, Papa Smurf and the drag queens. Now, when I think of France, I don't think of Papa Smurf and the drag queens. Hi, Vidandra. So somebody has actually put this in there, and I think that this is a really good point of view, because this is where I think the problem lies. They put these stars. They did make a mockery out of it. Yeah, I think you're right, Vidandra. So someone's thoughts with every sports reporter who spent the past 4 years diligently covering second-tier sports, only to miss out on a spot at the Olympics in Paris because a news journal or presenter was sent instead. Who will ring them at all hours for contacts and check facts? Obviously, this is a person that's done it. How do I super like this post? Nail on the head. We've all been there. It's not who you know. It's not what you know. It's who you know. Racing does this too much. They will send their New South Wales counterparts to Queensland to cover their carnival, WA, etc. Give the local analysts a chance. Man, I see this. Produced, shot, and edited a 6-part feature series ahead of the 2016 Olympic Games. Didn't get sent to Rio. So the point is that in these big stars contracts will be, I have to do the Olympic Games. And so the problem with particularly Channel 9's coverage last night, they put the breakfast morning TV for the morning show in to do the opening ceremony, and they wouldn't know how to do a live show if it bit them on the bum. And the thing about the opening ceremony is that most of it is live, and you can have a script in front of you, but you've got to be able to change and talk about something on the drop of the hat. You've got to be able to fill dead air. You have to know when to shut your mouth and know when to talk. And that didn't happen. So is it any wonder people are slamming the coverage? And it's quite ironic that the host broadcaster hasn't mentioned, has not, is saying, oh, we're really, really happy with our coverage. Well, I wouldn't be. I'd be really embarrassed if it was me. So here we go. So Karl Stefanovic does the morning show. As I said, it's live, but he's given a script. Dull and woeful. But viewers were quick to criticise the live coverage. The Channel 9 commentary is so bad, beyond cringe. I wonder if it's been beset by technical difficulties beyond Karl Stefanovic's personality, one said. Another Olympic fan pleaded for the broadcaster to shut up the presenter, who repeatedly reminded viewers of the bleak weather. It sounds like it was pretty bad. Oh, boy, I would rather have sat and listened to 4 hours of Katie Joy. So there you go. It's raining. We get it. You're a pathetic broadcaster, Channel 9. Why the F would you have Karl Stefanovic as a host of the opening ceremony? Karl is not okay. He's woeful. Toddy's okay, but it's horrible coverage. He's horrific and has zero insight to our offer. It sounds like there was no research done. Some viewers were so incensed by the quality of the coverage they threatened to turn their TVs off. Now there was only 80 of the 460 athletes were on the cruise, because many of them chose to stay in. Now, an interview that's going up later tonight is from a basketballer for Chris Anstey, and he was saying that he went to 2 Olympic Games, and he said you actually have to dedicate it's like an 8-hour day that you're hanging around for the opening ceremony. And so if you're competing the next day, it's very tiring. So a lot of the athletes that compete on the first day don't participate in the opening ceremony for the pure reason is that their preparation's stuffed. Many of the athletes now do that. They might do, if it's the first one, they might go and then they go, this is going to mess up my thing. So hello, Sean. Thank you, Sean. I've been waiting for you to come. You're the person I've been waiting for, because to me, you are the most qualified out of us all to talk about it, because this is your industry. How embarrassing. Woeful coverage, not yours, Channel 9. I was hoping you were going to say that. But here's the thing. This all comes under the banner of Director of Sport, right? So here's the other issue. Why have you got people that don't do sports commentary at all talking about a opening of a sporting event. They don't do sport. Now, a lot of people are saying that the coverage was bad. The opening ceremony was bad anyway. But even that aside, the commentary was woeful. I reckon it was so bad that I've been traumatized. I need to go into trauma counseling. There was 1 minute, where the guy was like galloping along the river on the horse. There was dead silence while that was happening, and I'm thinking, have they fallen asleep? Like, what is this symbolizing? It was like a sports presenter covering Fashion Week. Thank you, short order. Apparently, the head of the sports director reckons that it's just everybody that criticizes is jealous because it was excellent coverage. Apparently, we're just jealous. No, I'm not jealous. I'm not jealous of that. That was woeful. That we don't know what we're talking about. I know what's good and what's bad. And it's not just professionals speaking out about it, it's the everyday Aussie. Oh, look, you don't want to annoy people so much that they will actually pay to watch it when they could get it for free because the free coverage is bad. I knew what you meant. Yeah, who knows? But I'm just trying to work out whether it was just Australia that suffered through the bad commentary or whether it was worldwide. But it looks like no one else is. Looks like it might be a worldwide thing. Although I must say, I was watching this miserable coverage in cardboard beds for the athletes. This could be the worst. Well, the opening ceremony itself got criticised, but I also think, again, it's up to the people that are no, it was the weirdest coverage I've seen on so many channels. But it's up to the people that are, or it's up to the broadcaster or the commentators to paint the picture. Or you just saw this metal horse going down the river. What would you do with some masked man on it? And it was about 10 minutes of silence, and you're sitting there going, "What's happening here?" And I have it on good authority that they are given a brief that has all the speeches in it translated. They have everything as to what's supposed to happen that paints the picture. They're supposed to have a brief with everything that's in it to say, this happens and this symbolizes such and such and such and such and such and such, etc., etc., etc. And none of that was conveyed. And it was a failure. On one channel, I watched rail workers fixing a great that might have been more exciting. And this also, I mean, the sports experts, the experts doing I have great confidence in. And having listened and having had some of them on the podcast series, and then they've talked about the hours and hours and hours and hours of behind the scenes research that they've done. They're fine, but if this is what the closing ceremony is going to be like with these knuckleheads who with no personality, I don't think I'm going to bother watching. So, and I mean, for when women want to be treated equally as maybe Australia is going the way of the US, our coverage went bad. I cut the cord to cable and TV, some positive side effects I did miss. So you only get the Olympics on cable. See, we've still got it on free to air. So I'm talking about the free to air. I'm talking about the free to air network here. So this is free to air. But it was so bad that a lot of people are going to jump to the cable or they're going to listen to the radio because the Australian national broadcaster is also doing the Olympic Games. Again, free. And radio, they do paint the picture. Radio would have been very interesting because they would have painted the picture. You would have got all of those bits filled for you. So, yeah, very, very bizarre. Now, it was interesting because I've seen lots of stuff about the Last Supper being portrayed and it being offensive to Christians. And then someone said, well, why didn't they notice they didn't offend Islam? And what was interesting is that somebody said, it does offend Islam because Jesus is considered a prophet in Islam. We think highly of Jesus. So to offend Jesus is a very bad thing as well. So that's going to be interesting to see what happens there. Hi, Leah. I haven't seen or read much of the feedback. I was hoping you'd do our daily Olympic round. Actually, I'm trying to pass that off to somebody more qualified than I am. But the coverage, as I said, I can't admit to seeing much of the opening ceremony. I don't know how the boats worked. I mean, it rained, so it did lose a lot of the atmosphere that you would expect from an opening ceremony because it rained. But I think, the show must go on, right? I have to say, seeing Celine Dion again singing from the Eiffel Tower was a pretty, that was a pretty emotional thing, considering that she has been suffering from stiff person syndrome. And so, yeah, I'm just very interested to see, how or think what everybody else learned. So I know that unfortunately I can tell you that the girls synchronized divers, they missed out. I watched some of her documentary about her condition. I'm amazed this will. Oh, look, and when you look at Celine Dion singing, she's moving her hand, but you can see that every ounce of her arm, like the rest of her body, is still. I would have thought that. I think Celine Dion's still in a wheelchair, so for her to get up and sing was pretty amazing. I still don't know why they had all these Americans there. It's no offense to the Americans, and I don't understand why they had so many tennis players. So this is either, but they did. So women want to be taken seriously in the in the media, and particularly in the commentary world. But yesterday there was Nadal grabbed the torch, and then it was passed on a boat to Michael Johnson and Nadia Comaneci and Serena Williams, and that passing to get on the boat. Then they get off, and it was like the chick, I believe it's Ellie Langdon. She goes, Todd Woodbridge is he was an amazing doubles player. And she goes, Todd, all these tennis players. And then the baton goes to Maresmo, and then we get tennis players. And it's like, what? Show some intelligence. I think they could have skipped whatever to concentrate on the athletic aspect of what the Olympics are showing the best athletes for every country, but that's just my opinion. Yeah. Well, I did see the part where they talked about peace, and that is true. The Olympic Games have every country of the world where they get together for 14 days, they compete, and some of these countries are at war with each other politically, and have the leaders have declared war on the countries. But at the moment, there's peace. So you got Israel competing. Russia and Belarus are being banned. The countries are being banned, but they've let their athletes compete under a different name, which I thought which is really nice, because as long as they renounce the war, what's happening in their country, they're allowed to compete. And a lot of everyday people do object to what's happening. And so Medvedev, who's a tennis player, I think he's world number one. Is he world number one? I don't know. No, Sinner's world number one. Medvedev, previous number one. He is competing, and he's Russian, so he's competing under this alliance, under this no-name team for Russia. But he's also, but he could be up against an Israeli, and so Israel's competing as a country. So North Korea is competing, and so it's the only time the whole world gets together and for 2 weeks, are living in peace. So that's right, International Olympics team. That's it. I couldn't think of it. I mean, it's interesting because somebody did say the only thing worse than Karl Stefanovic was the actual opening ceremony. So I guess, I'm so yeah, I'm very interested. We'll be very interested to see what the sports director comes out with. But you would think that if it was a sporting event, you'd be using sport broadcasters, not breakfast not breakfast TV people. That's just me. Just that. So this is Celine Dion. She had to go because I saw some of the documentary. Look at her. And then this was the other bit. I don't. I'll turn the sound off. With all the controversy over Macron's wife, they made some weird. Correct. I call this guy Papa Smurf. I don't even. I see. I missed all of this. Well, you know, breakfast TV would have been doing the recap of what happened overnight, right? Not doing the whole thing. It wasn't breakfast TV. But I'm glad, Order, that you agreed that it was woeful. Because apparently only those of us uneducated thought it was, apparently those of us that are uneducated. And I said, well, the most average person watching the show, you know, if the general public are not happy, there's your audience. It's about keeping your audience. And then, of course, Papa. Yeah, I thought it was Papa Smurf. Papa Smurf and the Smurfettes. I'm trying to stay away from the other one, the other person, the other cringeworthy person, because she went on another rant today, another gypsy rant, and it's spilling more of a. Us more matures have seen some awesome Olympic ceremonies. Correct. Well, I mean, you can't get past the one from. This is one of my. It would be like having KJ and Jip do a commentary at a Mensa conference. Correct. To me, right? This is still up there. We've got to go back to do you remember the 2012 one? I mean, going to Australia would be a bit biased, but I like this. In an interview about this, Prince William said that she didn't tell any of the family that she was doing this. They were shocked. Like he's giving an update as to what's happening. This didn't happen last night. We watched for 10 minutes a guy on a metal horse riding down the river. It would have been nice to know what all of that symbolized. So, as I said, he was good. He was giving us. I'll be back in a minute. The British jump. That would have been good. But see, he's given us what the music was playing in the background. He told us it was heading east. He told us it was over the ground. Kept updating us. Yeah, so that is the example of what's good. But as I said, they got really, really hammered. And now the footballer commentary is getting hammered again. So you like the Spice Girls in London? Like Spice Girls were good in London. I still don't know why Lady Gaga had to perform in the Olympics, and I still haven't worked out the point of Papa Smurf either. And the band of Merry Drag Queens. I haven't worked that out. I don't know what they had to do with France. So. But a lot of people are talking about about James Bond, and saying that that nothing will compare with that. So, Bo, you were saying that it's only on cable TV, but then you have limited free to air. So you got to go to Lilyhammer, Sarah. That's pretty cool. That was a classy opening. Papa Smurf and his merry band of drag queens were part of a fashion show. Very French. Is that what it was? I mean, I've only seen the commentary around it. I never actually saw it, so I didn't know the context of it. But was it a fashion show? Fortunately, I missed all of that. So, yeah, I just found it very underwhelming and very disappointing. It's, 4 hours I won't get back. Chanel did a retrospective of 100 years of fashion exhibition. That was pretty cool. I think that was a couple of days before. Was it? Yeah. It's a bird, isn't it? It's a red. Isn't it a red type of bird? There was a fierce dude strutting down the runway on point. Oh, here it is. It's I can't even, how do you pronounce that? Yeah. Here it is. Here, look. I said it was a bird. If someone can pronounce that for me, that would be good. I don't know. It doesn't give me a pronunciation. Shape of a. Oh, it's supposed to be a hat. Apparently, a hat. Oh, it's one of those French hats that they wore. Oh, Revolution around the time of the Revolution. It's a hat. I thought it was a bird. There you go. That's how smart I am. The creator was the design team. So these were some of the other ones. Napoleon's hats. Yes, thank you. That's a better way to say it. Napoleon's hats. So anyway, I've had my little bit of a rant. I'm going to head off now. So I haven't spoken about the gypsy stuff today. I needed to have a break because that's been doing my head in. But a tri-corner hat. Yes. Yep. Anyway, whatever it is. I'm going to catch you probably tomorrow. So I've had my rant. I've got it out of my system. So thank you. And I'm glad that other people have agreed with me. And it seems to be that other countries are suffering a similar fate. Maybe broadcasting is going downhill. I don't know. Anyway, I will catch you next time. If you could hit like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.